I don't know, that intro made that person leave. All right, welcome to OnSet. I am Daniel Norton. I'm here with Seth, Miranda, last ex-witness, and special guest star, Joe.
All right.
Joe is our product photographer here at Adorama, much more qualified for this than me, so he's gonna help out. So this is really about shooting kind of basic product, right? What there is actually on the Adorama blog, 42S, there's a great article where we profile Joe and talk about his focus stacking and all kinds of awesome 3D printing. We're not doing any of that. I'm basic, we're gonna keep it really basic, and we're gonna kind of work our way through, although I was upstairs and I found a mirror. Well, it's Plexi. And I was like, hey, I could use that. So we put a mirror here. We're gonna try to do some fun stuff with reflections, but I'm gonna kind of show you just a very basic way to light, and then we'll kind of build up from there. I have a variety of different things to photograph, so we're just gonna kind of work through this. I always think of this as kind of like, if you're selling something, e-commerce, somebody gives you a quick job. I used to do a lot of jobs where I shot like little clothing lines for people, like wholesalers and stuff. This is a nice basic way to shoot that you do on the ground, obviously, but this we're gonna do like this. Let's do it. All right, so.
Move that stand out of the way.
I'm moving this stand because I was setting up and then we went live. All right, so I've got the I'm gonna put a light on
it. Because you put it in front of one camera.
And then I put it in front of the other camera. I just want to put the light on there. It's important whenever you're building your set to put as many lights on stands as possible. Looks impressive. Nothing's coming up because we're not plugged in HDMI. Yes, we are. Okay.
Let me try it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to unplug the whole.
Just don't.
Okay. All right, so nothing. I'm gonna have to.
Don't worry about it. Just go.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a big open light source to light the product from behind, because when we're thinking about products, we want to make the photography in general, right? It's very two-dimensional, right? We're looking at either a two-dimensional print or a magazine, or this new thing called the internet with its pictures, and you're looking at a flat screen. So what we're trying to do with light is build dimension. And one of the best ways to do that is just a very simple shadow on your product, so a drop shadow. So if I didn't have the mirror here, it'd be even more effective. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw light from the back so that we get just kind of a very gentle shadow in the front. The other thing that does for us is it separates out our item, right? It's being lit from the back, so it's giving us a frame. Also, we can fill in gently from the front. Depending on what we're doing, we might wanna throw another light up there. We'll see, right? I have this data light here, which is a constant light. I'm gonna use Profoto flashes. We'll make it work. I actually have another demo coming up, how to mix flash with constant light, so I might not use this because I want you to come back for that one. I'm holding out. Okay, so like I said, this is a piece of Plexi here, and we're just gonna take our first product, we're gonna sit down and we're just gonna start sculpting around it. All right, everybody in the audience, smile. Is it, there you go. Okay, good. All right, perfect. So basically it's a mirror plexiglass. You could use just something that's shiny. Like I love a nice silver board is nice because you still get a bit of a reflection, but it's not so like hard like this is gonna be. Because obviously, like I'm standing here looking at this, like Seth sees a black square. What I see is a bunch of lights, right? We have to think about the angle of the camera, right? Or the subject, no, the viewer, when we're thinking about mirrors. So in order for me to not see the roof, I can't be looking down at it. I have to kind of lower myself, and eventually I start to see out there. I'm not shooting out there, I'm shooting this way. So what's back there? A roll of paper, right? So we're gonna have a nice gentle gray paper with lots of wrinkles in it because they only give me one roll a year. And we're halfway through the year, so that paper is wrinkled. Seth doesn't roll me down a fresh sheet ever. You have to have a certain number of followers on Instagram before you get a new piece of paper.
You're welcome to donate something to the event space, you know.
Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna lower my tripod down so I can get that angle. All right. Riveting, I can tell. All right. We're here, thank you. This is the remote for the Profoto lights. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our, before I do anything, I just kind of want to show you what this looks like, because I'm trying to fill time. Turn these off.
In the back. Oh, it's like one or two.
That's not a battery power. The dado has to be plugged in. Yeah, that's a full battery. All right, so I'm gonna take my first subject, which is the one we use for the thumbnail. It's a little turtle. His name is Ohm. Be very gentle with Ohm. So he's a hand-painted turtle. Maybe you're working for an artist that creates things like this and sells them to people who see cute turtles and pay a lot of money for them, right? And you're gonna create some images of Ohm, and we'll do it just like this. So I'm gonna zoom in a bit here. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this so you guys can see. I'm gonna capture one here, which makes all of this so much easier because we can look right through the camera. If I could ever stretch this out, there we go. So I'm gonna click over here to my tether. I'm shooting with the Nikon Z6 II. And we can look right through it. And we see him, right? He's looking kind of angry, but you know, he's not very happy right now. We'll try to make him a little happier. So we can see we have that nice reflection underneath him. We have like a cloudy sky going on. No, that's just the thing, right? So he's not actually lit, right? This is just the light in the space. If I shot it like this, it would be like 8 million ISO, which we're not gonna do because contrary to what people say, it does matter. So we're gonna stick with 100 ISO, 200th of a second, and we're gonna go F8. What that's gonna do is give us that, right? Assuming that's still on the screen. That's a black frame, right? That means that none of the light that we're seeing is going to affect our shot, only our flash will, which is where we're gonna start. So this is just for seeing what's out, for framing, for getting things ready. That's not exposure. I might act, yeah, I'm gonna stay level with, you know what, I'll go a little higher. What do you think, should I go a little higher? Why not? I'm gonna go a little higher, just because I like to, oh, that's the wrong button. Okay. I'm just going a tiny bit higher. Joe's getting nervous. He's like, oh, don't screw it up, Daniel. All right, I'm gonna go like that. Looks good, looks good. Yeah, I used to live in Miami. You can tell by my complexion. And if you were rich, not like me, you have a pool, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? You got a pool by the ocean, right? It kind of just falls off into the ocean. That's what we got going on here. Ohm is very rich. He's living in Miami. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the light up above so we don't see it in the background, and we're gonna throw some light down on him. Okay, Joe's gonna do that because he's more skilled than I am.
Oh, how do you want it?
Yeah, let's see. Keep going. That's good. We'll start there. So it's behind him, but it's gonna be white, right? So we're gonna have a blast of white coming in here. What's that? Well, we turn on the modeling light so you can see.
What group is that?
C. It's in the C group. And we're gonna be able to see, now you can see kind of light coming through it, right? Again, it's a little imperfect because it's a silk, but I'm liking that. You know, if you don't like that, we could raise it up higher and not get it in at all and just use the paper, but I'm feeling it. You feeling it? I'm feeling it.
Might be a little high, but
Yeah, a little high.
little
The light is.
based on the perspective it's coming back.
So the light, Joe's talking about the light. Oh, I don't have to explain that. He has a microphone on. So when you're using a silk, and this is one reason why I like to use silks for stuff. First of all, it's cool, right? Everybody's got a softbox. You bust this thing up, people are like, what's that? But you can move the light relative to the silk. We can bring it up, we can bring it down, we can bring it closer, we can bring it further away, and it will change the quality of light. So let's start there. It's always good to start at the beginning. And we're gonna focus in on his face. I have eye detect, turtle eye detect on. And we're gonna set our dip, there we go. I'm gonna put it in auto, which is TTL, and we're gonna take a shot. All right, that's not it. Okay, so why is he dark? Who has the answer to that question? Yes, yes. Because he's backlit, right. So a lot of times people will use TTL and they'll be like, man, TTL is garbage. It always messes up my exposure. Well, what TTL is trying to do is get a gray exposure, right? It's mostly seeing this ground, which is a mirror, and the light source itself. It's going to underexpose. So we either have to switch to manual or tell it to compensate. With Profoto, you got about 2 stops of compensation. I don't think that'll be enough here. I can tell by going to my exposure slider here and bringing it up 2 stops and just see if I can get detail in our guy. And no, not really, right? He's still too dark. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back. I'm gonna switch to manual. And when I do that, I can see the setting of the actual light. It's at 5.5. We know that 2 stops up. I'm sorry, I'm 2 stops down. So if I go up That's me doing math here. 7.5, I'm gonna take a shot. It's good. Now we're gonna see a very white background, right? We should anyways. Yeah, well, could actually be even a little hotter if I wanted to. Okay, that's pretty good. We don't want to blow out our edges, right? If we, oh, his head's cut off. That's weird, right? We want to show his whole head, I think.
From the reflection, yeah.
Yeah, in the reflection. So I think so. So when you're looking at reflections, you got to make a decision, right? We don't want to just cut his head off there. I could either get in and show less of him, or I could show more of him. I think more of him will look a little bit like, what am I selling here? So I'm going to go the other way. So my decision to go up and point down, where Joe looked at me like I was crazy, he was right. That was bad. So we'll go back down. He was just being nice. So we're going to keep the camera level. Ball head. This is why I shouldn't use ball heads for this, but it's okay. I had a ball head. That's what we're using. So they make great,
Gearheads.
like a geared head, which allows you to basically get yourself mostly in space, and then you can kind of adjust it. You know, that's good enough. We're going to call that good enough. We're going to shoot. It's okay. That's better, right? Now his head's not cut off. He's looking a little fierce, right? But he's dark, right? If I increase the exposure of the light behind him, what's going to happen? It's going to start blowing past him, right? And you're probably going to get chromatic aberration. So what we need to do is add light from the front, right? I could use another light, one way to do it, or we could use reflection, right? So if we bring in a reflector, like this beautiful one that Seth made here, we can bring the reflector in. We'll probably end up doing two, but you know, got to make it dramatic, right? That helps, right? Ooh, I know it's out of focus. You can still pretend like it's good though. Pretend like that was good. Oh, there you go. Good. All right.
Well, he's moving fast, you know.
Yeah, I am. I'm a fast moving guy.
That dynamic autofocus, you know.
I think I did the thing where you push the button. Yeah, that's better. All right, I'm probably going to manually focus because it's focusing on his nose, you know, because I don't have turtle focus. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna switch to manual focus. I'm gonna focus on his nose, on his eyes rather. We're also going to use maybe two reflectors. What do you think? We use two. We're gonna use pin autofocus, which Seth is now gonna demonstrate. And he'll remember to turn that off after so that I can actually get something in focus later. So pin autofocus is basically you pick a very specific spot and it can be a very small spot. In this case, Ohm's eyes. And turtles move super slow, so he's not going to move out of the shot. Oh, he's telling me that my camera settings are bad. This happens every time. Seth sets up my camera.
The tripod's loose, Dan.
Well, the tripod might wiggle. That could be true. I have no idea about that because it's also his tripod, right? So let's be honest.
No, don't start that. Don't start that. Okay, look.
It's
So
not my
this
job.
is pin autofocus.
Okay. So we're going into pin autofocus. We're going to get focus on Ohm's eyes, which is really important. Oh, and look at how nice his eyes are. What a gentle turtle you are, Ohm. Okay, so now we're going to use two reflectors. You know, now sometimes people will be like, "A little hot." Yeah, it's a little hot. Oh, yeah, question.
Question the chat is asking, is that mirror acrylic or a black one? See it?
That is a mirror acrylic. Yep.
It's mirror plexi, but it's not black mirror. It's you think it's black because it's pointed at everything that's dark in here.
Yeah. So the reason why it looks black to you is because of the angle of incident equaling the angle of reflectance, or not in this case, right?
No, it's plexiglass, guys. It's mirror plexiglass. What they call mirror plate plexi.
Okay, so, you know, now we can adjust our exposure as needed. If we think it's too bright or too light or too dark or whatever, we could add that. But we can see we have this kind of dreamy background. It's falling off. How you have that kind of mirror pool thing, right? We have some depth. He's not just against nothing. So one of the things that when you're shooting on like paper, for instance, can be really nice is you can add that little extra depth just by kind of the scoop in the paper. So this is a similar effect. If you don't want that, then, well, you could either use paper, right? Or we could bring the light up higher and let the backlight fall off. We'll switch to a softbox. We'll do that in a minute. Question? Or I thought you were going to come over and help. It's okay. If you want to come up, you can feel free. Everybody does at some point in their career. Okay. I mean, I think we've kind of got that, right? Now, before we move on, just to kind of show you, we can take Ohm. Actually, he's a little bright, right? I'm just going to dial him down a tiny bit. Let's do one more. Okay, I just brought the light down 2/10 of a stop so we get a little bit better green in the neck. I was very sensitive about his neck. Okay, good, right? Simple, easy. Now, here's the key. You might be looking at that going, okay, yeah, right? But now we can take another item. What other item should we do? Let's say this. Let's say you're a food photographer, right? And you have a carrot, right? Oh, okay. Ooh. See, the joke didn't land as well because I wasn't ready. So pretend like you're just seeing this now. Let's say you have a carrot. He's a carrot, right? And we put him in the same spot, right? This carrot is really happy. You know, he's got a little sign. He looks good. Same deal. If I leave everything the way it is with no reflectors, right? I turn this off. We get a dark carrot, right? Nobody wants dark carrots. They're scary, kind of creepy. Like, imagine if you were in an alley. And where are there alleys in New York, by the way? In every movie, there's alleys. There's no alleys here, right? So imagine you're in an alley and you see this carrot approaching with this sign. You'd be like, I don't know about that, right? But if we add a little bit of light, I probably should have focused on him as well, but you know, we're going with it. All of a sudden, the carrot becomes joyful and we want to hang out with him, right? Maybe not when you got close to him. Okay, nobody wants to see that. All right, carrot, get out of my face. There we go. Easy, right? We can adjust our exposure. Let's say I want to go down 1 or 2, because you never want to get it in the first shot when you have a client there. Yes, sir. That's a great question. What lens am I shooting with? This is the Nikon 24 to 120 f4. Why? Why am I shooting with that? He's going to ask me. Oh. Oh yeah, it's great, right? Well, so you're not asking why. That's why I was. Right now, I'm set at the perfect focal length of 70. So, and that's also a really interesting question. So, when I'm setting up something, in most cases, what I want to do first is figure out where I need to be, and then I adjust. That's why I'm using a zoom, you know. But I'm at 70, which is pretty good. I don't need to compress the background anymore because the background is just that, right? And if I got too close to them and used a wide angle lens, I might get too much. So 70 fits in a nice clean spot for me for this. So all product photographers use 70. Okay, other questions, thoughts, concerns? No, okay, one more. Let's do one more thing. What do you think about this? Can we make this stay still?
A ball, maybe?
Yeah. I'm making this tough. This guy's a pro, he'll get it.
And for those of you who just joined the stream, if you don't know who Joe is the guy that shoots all the product for Flashpoint here at Adorama. So everything you've seen out of the private brands here at Adorama, he's done all the product photography for it. Mm-hmm. My man has 60 million little tiny reflectors on little arms all over the place like a psychopath. It's true. And he did ask, he was like, do you want me to bring like good stuff or are you just going to be a hack? And I was like, no, I'll be a hack.
I try.
All right.
Someone's asking, what if you want the background to be all white?
Okay, so what if I wanted the background to be all white? Well, in order to get the background white, I would have to light the back. I'd have to have a white piece of paper or something. I mean, I don't have white paper, unfortunately, because I forgot to get it. You do a sweep. We could put it on.
If we bounce it.
And then you think we could do it?
If we have a front light.
If we have a front light, we can do it. But nobody likes front lights. Man, they're making my job difficult, Joe. Fine, we could do that. Give me a second. Let's make it dark first. So to make it darker, we're not gonna be able to make it dark because I don't have a softbox. I can put a softbox on, I guess. Should we put a softbox on there?
We can.
Yeah, let's do it. You guys are boring. All right. Do we have a softbox?
You're literally looking at one.
What size?
I have a strip box.
What do you want?
I wanted to control it, so I want a strip box.
Take the strip box. You're looking at it.
I know, I don't want to knock things over.
Like, can I have that cookie? Like staring at it. Take the cookie.
All right, so let's say we want, so the question is how do we make the background white, which I'm not going to answer. No, we'll do that in a second. So now let's talk about controlling light. I love this because it's versatile, right? We've already seen that if I had a variety of products, let's say I was selling something on an online marketplace. I don't say the word eBay unless they pay me. So, you know, I could basically bust out 10 different things with the same light. It works, it's clean. It's not the most inventive, most beautiful, most exciting light, but it works, right? It's a good, clean, functional light. But let's say we want to get a little bit more moody, we want to get the background dark. What we have to do is control our light, right? So we're going to remove this giant source that's throwing light everywhere, and instead we're going to put in a more directional source. Maybe bring this up over like this, actually, because we'll use it eventually for the front. Yeah. What's the question?
Someone in the chat is asking, some cameras have high res mode, like pixel shift, for example. They're saying, would that be useful for something like this?
Oh, yeah, it would be. I don't think I have that. Do I have that?
You do.
I do. I have it. I have pixel shift. No, 2. I have a 6.2.
Oh.
No, I got a 6.2. I haven't got that. But thanks for bringing it up. Make me feel bad about myself. I appreciate it. But yes, 100%. It's not moving. Why wouldn't you want the more resolution? You know, you could also do things again. Read the article on the blog. All right. All right. So that means I have to know how to navigate the. Yeah.
We'll put the link to the article.
Yeah.
After
There's a great article. It goes into real deep into product photography, like doing it like real.
Dan's going to put it in the comments.
I'll comment on my video.
There you go.
Like,
Look
oh,
at
I
that.
like this. That wasn't what I intended, but I like that. No, bring it up above so we can get the background black.
You want her up?
Yeah. This is kind of cool, though. Hold on. Before you do that, go back this way a little bit. No, not too far. Come back. Oh, you guys are here? Oh, sorry. I thought you left.
Does anyone want to do a
Okay.
proper demo?
Bring it this way. Stop. Okay. Here we go. It's not centered, but, you know, it's okay. Too bright. Okay. I'm not going to mess with this. I had an idea of a floating ball in space, but we'll deal with it. Can we come up so that none of the light is hitting the back? Let's we get a dark background.
Like this?
Yeah, like above it, like this.
Well, Dan's futzing around.
And then let's-
He survives on likes, kids. So if you're in that chat room,
Yeah, keep going. I can still see it. Yeah, I'll do this so it makes it
yeah,
easier.
like,
Yeah, like I don't want to see this box at
So
all.
we're going to want this that way? This way?
Yeah, so bring this over here. We're making it dangerous, as usual. So what's happening here is we have a lot of things going on. So I'm trying to move. I know I'm going to use this again in a second. So we're just going to slide it over here.
Have a bag on it.
It's got a sandbag on it. It's totally safe. Plus, this is what you call a soft light. And, you know, if you're going to drop a light, make sure it's soft. We're going to bring this up until we don't see the light. See, we're not seeing the light in the shot anymore. So we're going to just light the ball from above. Right? You can see it, right? I know it's out of focus. Yeah, there we go. So it's in focus. I'm going to take a quick shot just to see what it is. Remember, we're in manual. Probably have to change a bunch of stuff. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. I don't have to change nothing.
all right. Change nothing. You're the editor of the blog. Is that your
I
grammar?
don't change nothing.
I don't change nothing for nobody.
So here we've got something really interesting, right? We have a round, right, a ball, right, of a stone, and the way the light's wrapping around it is really showing the shape. We lifted the light up so it's not behind us anymore, lit the subject directly, right, and now we don't have any light falling on the background, so the background's basically black, right? I mean, I am using a mirror, so we're getting like a little bit of kick, like right at the edge, but I gotta say, I kind of like that. And I planned it the whole time, so just know that. Questions about that? That makes sense? How we got it off the background? Now, if we want the background to be white, we could just light it, right? I have 2 drinks. I don't know why. Yes. Is this in the front doing anything? Very little. I wouldn't say nothing, but probably very little. The only, because some of the light's bouncing off the mirror, then bouncing up, and you might be getting some kind of like incidental, almost like when you use a shoot-through umbrella in an open space, like you get a little bit of bounce. It's kind of that kind of vibe, but it's not really affecting it at all. Unless you want to charge for it, then you could say it's doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, not much, if anything. So if we want to light the background, should we light it with the, I mean, just making it white is boring, right? Let's light it with the dado light. We could do like a slash. Let's bring this over there. Yeah.
So someone's asking, rather than pressing the button on the camera, would you fire the camera from capture one instead so you don't get a shake in the camera? You're shooting with strobe and he already got a black frame, so the shake wouldn't really do that much either way. But yeah, you could do that.
This one?
Let's leave that one up and we'll throw a slash on the background with that one. That's a
Put it
constant
back
light.
here?
Yeah, so we'll point it at the background and plug it in over there. This is my dado light. Dado light is a German lighting company. They make lights for cinema. Basically, if you've heard of like a Fresnel light, it's like that, except instead of a Fresnel lens, it uses a spherical lens, kind of like you'd have in a camera. So the light's very clean and really pure. And yes, they're expensive. That's always the question, but worth it. We like to say they're a premium product. Like once a year, I get to bust this out. So this is a constant light. So now we're going to mix constant with flash. Where's the best place to plug this in? Here? Yeah, okay. All right, I got a wire here, so just be careful. Perfecto. It's got the barn doors.
Yep.
And focus. Oh, look at that. It's also bicolor.
You want it open? Closed.
Yeah, let's open it up and make a slide, like a bigger slash in there. Let's look. So here's the beauty of shooting tethered, right? All of this is great, but when you're shooting tethered, one of the best things about it is, or if you're not shooting tethered, you could use an app. If your phone has it, so you can look through the lens. We can look through and we can see. So let's do like a,
Closed.
yeah. You could throw, sock puppets. Yeah, let's make it interesting. I like this. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, you're good, Joe. That's good. I love it.
Really quick, I think someone joined late. They're just asking, how would you establish the initial angle of the camera?
The initial what?
The initial angle of the camera.
Oh, okay, so the reason why I have the camera where it is because this is a mirror. It might be hard to see online, but this is actually a mirror. And, obviously where you're standing, like if I stand over the mirror, I can certainly see the object, but I can also see the ceiling. I can see if I get down like this, I could see the on air sign over there. If somebody over there stood, they could see that. They can't see any of it.
No, I think they're saying because you're looking above at the product, just not sure how high to be above the product.
No, I'm not really. I'm mostly level with it. I'm shooting down just a hair. I mean, part of it is just kind of going with the flow, but I'm pretty level with the product. You don't want to go so low that your hand gets, right? If I got any lower, like this is the edge of the mirror where my finger is, so if I come even just a tiny bit, right? So if I lowered my camera like an inch, you'd see the edge of the mirror in it. And the edge of the mirror has black on it, so I don't want that. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is do the shot with the flash again, which is gonna look just like our other shot, not like what you're seeing there. Except you'll see a little bit in the background, which I knew was gonna happen. And we can actually, oh, that's kind of nice, but I want it to be brighter. So if we want that background to be brighter, we have to basically make an adjustment, right? And when you're mixing, and I'm gonna do a whole class on this, so you don't have to fully follow it, but pay attention, you'll be tested. We have to adjust our exposure. I think it's up all the way, right?
Yep.
If I could change everything, obviously. If I change my ISO to a higher ISO, it would get brighter, right? But the flash would also be brighter, right? If I change my aperture, it would be brighter, but the flash would also be brighter. But when you're mixing flash with constant lights, if you adjust your shutter speed, it basically only affects the constant light. So in other words, I'm at 200th of a second. I can dial down to, let's say, where's my button? There we go. Let's say I go down to 100th of a second, so one stop, right? I take another shot. What's gonna happen is my flash and stuff should stay the same. The background gets brighter. Now, because there's lots of lights in this room, they're gonna start affecting the shot as well. So you can play around with that, or you can just ask Seth to turn them off. So if you're at some studio or something, be like, hey, Seth, and he'll come up, he'll be like, hey, what? Seth, can you turn off those front lights for me for a second? Or whatever's hitting this, I guess that. Everybody, we all ask Seth to shut off the lights, and he hates it.
Listen, you want a dark stream, knock yourself out. Then you go, why are my stream numbers so low?
I do say that. That's exactly the voice I use. Okay, you can bring it back up. Thank you. All right. So we can see, I mean, there's lots of different ways to test it, but this bottom one is with basically the lights off, right? So that's only our strobe and our background light. This one here involves a little bit of light from the space. So it's, you know, it's affecting it a tiny bit, right? We can see it in the fill. So whether or not that matters to me because I care. But, you know, Seth.
Tell me how I don't care. Keep going. Go ahead.
No, Seth cares. Probably too much, actually.
Buddha statue.
Yes, nobody cares more than Seth. This is pretty cool, actually. And we never got the background white like I said I was going to. But you know what? That's just how life is, you know? No, what's the other question? Oh, from the front. That's how we're going to do it. So in order to get the background white, we could light from the front and put like a white card here. We could also throw a bunch of light on this background if we use, let's use a flash. Let's do it, Joe. Seth always says I'm mailing these in or calling them. What do you say?
Yeah, that's what I say. So I say you mail it in. Have you never heard any expression in life before?
Well, you know, back in my day, we mailed things in.
Yeah, you're carrier pigeoning it in.
Yes,
do you want the light?
you newfangled kids with the, let's put it behind you, just blast the background with it. Okay, this is also in the C group, so I'm going to change that. So when you're using these Profoto lights, there's different groups. And if you want to control the power separately, they need to be in different groups. So my main light is in the C group. This one I put in the B group, so I should be able to control its power separately. And we're just going to basically bang it off the wall to get the wall to be white. Questions, thoughts, concerns? Yes, sir. The wattage. These are 500 watt second, they're B30s. They're 500 watt second flashes. The dado light is 90 watt LED. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave everything the way it was. That's at 7.2.
Yep.
Okay, so they're set about the same power, but this one has no softbox on it. So it's gonna be at least a stop, if not 2 stops brighter, which should be perfect for us. Or terrible, we'll find out in a second. No, there we go. Right? Not the worst thing in the world. You still see a little bit of the pool edge, but you know, I'll live with it.
Some of you guys should notice though is go back to the dark shot one, go back up one.
Yeah.
If you notice when he goes dark, you see how you start seeing all the dust on the glass.
Yep.
But then the white like completely takes it all out.
Yeah.
So it's something to consider if you're doing high volume work and where it's going to live.
Well, yeah. 100%.
So that's why a lot of e-commerce, white on white with more white.
Exactly. Yes. If I like that dark shot and I was gonna keep it, I would come in here and clean this with a what do you call it, Swiffer?
Are you saying my filthy napkins I found underneath the
Yeah.
console
Let's
weren't
give me
clean
some
enough?
deli napkins to clean up the
They
thing.
are deli napkins. Like,
I'm over here deli napkins clean this up. This is a professional show here.
actually, they're bodega napkins.
All right,
but
that's
I'm
true.
not gonna.
That's true. All right, so let's light it from the front. Let's try a different option because lots of ways you can do things. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Mary's here. Mary's here, and Mary went out and bought some shoes for me. They are a little too small, and coincidentally, they're the right size for somebody else. I don't know how these things work.
Can I just swing this way to get that?
Yeah, of course. Sorry. So technically, my very first photography job ever was photographing sample shoes for Reebok for their sample. Whenever they would develop a new pair of shoes or the designers would design one, they get one sample, and I would photograph it for like an archive. So I've done this before. You
moved
always
on?
photograph the right shoe.
Wow. Look how glossy that is.
Yeah.
And then you moved on to shooting plastic cups.
I know. I'm not sure why it's orange. Okay. I do like these sneakers, or as we call them, kicks. Okay. So now I'm going to zoom back a bit. I might actually physically move the camera, but that's pretty good. Oh, I like this. Okay, so let's just shoot with what we got because I'm too lazy to change anything, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so what happened there?
Favorite part is the power cable from the data light in the back. I think it really sells the shoe.
Listen, I'll drop that in Canva. It'll take that background out like nothing. So,
I like the uneven gradation on the background, but the cable, that cable. Dan.
this is a beautiful shot.
AI can't do that.
All right, so let's let's make this decent so that stops giving us a hard time.
You want to use a reflector to bounce it?
Should we, or should I was thinking about turning this sideways and running it in low like this to make it more dramatic.
You did.
Just to shut him up.
Look, I've kept just so you understand the importance of product photography. You have nothing else going on in your business. You can find product photography jobs. You don't got to worry about call times. You can do it overnight.
You want it
They
this
ship
perfect.
things to you, ship them back. It's really important to learn this kind of stuff so you can keep on working when you don't have other clients.
Yeah, the thing is, in fact, years ago, I shared a studio with a guy that was a product photographer, and he actually had clients that would just mail him like crates of stuff just to photograph on his own.
Actually, Dan was there while I was there overnight shooting little Buddha statues for a
that's right.
magazine. For how many years?
2,000 years. No, that's how old the Buddha was.
Well, they were relics. I mean, they had like no facial features left and stuff.
All right, so again, we're just doing a test shot here. I turned off the background light, right? We turned this sideways because that's what you do, right? The shoe is sideways. The light should be sideways. You can quote me on that. Make a. Joe asked me, "Hey, is the light in the shot?" And I was like, "No," but clearly it is. Right?
Right.
So it's got to come up a little bit.
You did.
Erase, okay. I mean, that doesn't look too bad. All right, we'll take another one. I don't want to do too good of a job here because they'll ask me to do this again. All right, lights out of the shot now. We got some drama. This is Nike, right? Now, there's a couple things we could do here. If we were trying to bang these out real quickly for a site, we could just throw a reflector in, right? Same thing we did before. Should we do, is that gonna work? Is there enough light there? This is silver, by the way. Seth handcrafted this.
By handcraft, I mean spray painted on the roof. Yes.
What, nothing? What? What, no audible? Let's try that again.
Look
Please,
at that.
Come on. All right, pretend like you didn't see it before. All right, here we go. I'm gonna use a reflector now. We don't know what it's gonna look like. All right,
You're so sad. All right.
and there we go. That makes me happy. My mom watches, and it's good for her to. She's not in the chat now, but she'll watch the replay. I have to tell her that Seth didn't yell at me too much, so that's not bad, right? But we could be more dramatic. We have the dado light, right? We could just like, let's say we want to throw a little bit of light on the word air. You know, why not, right? We could do that. I have a question. Uh-oh. Oh, no. It's not glossy.
Okay, so one thing you gotta think about though is it a product shot to sell the features of it, or is it a shot that you're just doing your interpretation of it? There's two. You got to establish the intent of the shot first. He never said this was for e-commerce or to sell the shoe.
Well, I'm okay with that. So yeah,
Defend you for 5 seconds.
right. So if the shoe is glossy and you want to keep it glossy, then you need to add reflection into the shoe, right? That's basically, so that's a good question, right? So we know that this part of the shoe right here is reflective, right? So how much we play around with that or take away comes down to, like, here we'll go like this. This becomes much more difficult here because all the lights are on, but we're gonna give it a shot. But we can see the shoe, and in fact, I can see this, right? This right here, there it is, right? That's in the shot that I showed you, right? It's just very minor, right? We can add additional, well, let's do the dado first because we can actually use it as our thing. Let's shoot the dado across the, right? And we can look at it, and we're gonna come from a bit of an angle, and we're gonna try to create a little bit of depth in the shoe, then I'll add the gloss back in. Let me stay focused.
They're asking if you ever use a gray card.
Do you ever use a gray card? Like for color? Yes, absolutely. Like a white balance card? So it's important to know that like not all gray cards are for white balance. So if you're asking about white balance, make sure you get one that is actually neutral. The one that's really cheap that you're about to put in your cart, that's not neutral. That's for black and white photography. All right, so we've got this added in now. Okay. So what I'm doing there, that's just the dado, right? Because I'm removing the flash right now. That's what by pressing that button. And I can see that it's not reflecting. Okay, so in order to,
The angle.
sorry. I think what I'm actually gonna do is bounce it off the mirror and back up at it. I think that might actually give us a little more depth.
They're asking if you would use multiple exposures for different lights, then blend it together in post.
You definitely could do that. Multiple exposure is a great way to do that. Okay. And this reflection, it's very funny because Seth mentioned that I worked for this company where they wanted me to establish a technique for them to photograph plastic cups. And this was actually what they wanted, bad photography, basically. They wanted like all the reflections, what most people would consider bad. They wanted it all back in the shot. And it was really fun and tricky to make it happen. Okay. It would be some very, it's out of focus. Oh, because I'm on pin focus.
Focus, yeah.
Okay, you know, some variation of this, right? You see the gloss? That's what you'd want to do. I don't have like every little bit of small card here to really shape it out the way that we're talking, but that's what I did there was the data was bouncing off the mirror back up into the card because I have to create angles in order to get it to go back into my lens the right way. So that's basically the trick there. I mean, it's pretty simple. I could probably put another one in too. Can we get two in there? Or is that going to block the data if we do that? Can we,
So what's
no, I can't do that, right? You got to do it from, that would just be a bit of a fill. Yeah, let's see if we can get that. This might be too much. I might have lost, no, there we go. Okay, you see? What we're doing is, so what we don't want to do, I mean, what you can do, right? A highlight, right, what you're talking about, is a reflection of your light source. So the first thing I was going to do, and I was like, oh, let's point the data at you to show you how to do it. It wouldn't have looked good because basically it's going to be a tiny bit of light from the dado. In order to make it look good on a shoe, you've got to show enough light wrapping around it. So another way to do this would be like translume or something, you know, wrap the whole set in it. I could have put the diffuser right here and shot a light through it. There's lots of different ways to do it. I just happen to have a mirror and a dado light, and you know, I wanted to use science. I'm also terrible at pool, which you think I'd be good at based on the bouncing here, but no, not good to. Okay. Questions? Oh boy. When it brings up multiple questions, I know I'm doing something wrong. What's up? I almost fell over. See that one? I need new shoes, that's why.
What about without the direct light? What if direct light is that?
What about without the softbox? Just for you, because you're here all the time. That's just the dado light. See it? So we could add a card in for reflection if you want. Now, obviously the, what? Oh, no. Nobody does that. Well, okay, so what would be the advantage of that? Okay, so you don't know. So whenever you're like gonna work on something, this is like a good idea. It's awesome to have that thought. Like, what would it be like if I just did this? And sometimes it's worth just doing. But what's gonna happen is, if I go to a smaller light source, it's gonna basically centered on the shoe. What I actually want is, that's why I chose a strip bank, to give us the length of the shoe, right? To make it even across the shoe. If you were doing something more dramatic and you wanted it spotlit, that could totally work. But for like a nice even shot, what we're doing here, you're just gonna get a hot spot in the center.
What about client preference? You're doing this reflection shot. How are you deciding how much of the reflection to include? From a conversation beforehand, or would you include more reflection so they can drop later?
No, this is a good question. If the client's not there and you're unsure, I mean, let's assume number one that you can't communicate with them, which number two is going to be you should be communicating. Then I would shoot it with no reflection, and then with if I didn't know, or I would look at previous stuff and we would have already had that conversation. Typically, before you do a whole run of something, you're going to do a sample, right? But software like Capture One can establish a private URL that they can actually see your Capture One from their phone anywhere they are. So if I have a client back in their office, they can't come to the set, I'll be like, go to this URL, you know, lastxwitness.com, and boom, they can see. They can see the sets work. No, see, that's how I would try to do it. I've literally had jobs where back in the day where we would be like, all right, here's the screen, like taking a picture of it with your phone or something and like sending it that way through an email or whatever, because they just wanted to see it or whatever, right? Because it's a raw file.
Yeah.
But this is the simplest way to do it, is just use Capture One for that kind of stuff if you can.
So actually, I
have a
had a job for a European company watching me back then on Skype while we were shooting. and yelling at me in Italian where they wanted to see shine. So they also come to you with like a concept, but they might not even know what they really mean. Like it's a whole thing. The best thing you can always do is get to a place that gives a proof of concept. If they say something that looks like this and you aim for that, they can't yell at you.
Right.
Mood boards, now you can AI a proof and then go shoot the original.
I gotta tell you though, it was funny. I'll give you a story because this is why clients are terrible. I once shot these handbags. They were like leather, and we went in the studio, and I'm like, "This is." I shot it like you're saying. It's if you want the shine. They looked at it. The whole day we shot 100 handbags. They were looking at everyone on the screen. Then when I delivered the picture, they're like, "Why are they so reflective?" And I'm like, "Have you looked at your bags? Plus you were there." And they're like, "I thought you were going to remove that in post." So that's on me a little bit because I assumed that they saw that the shot was there or whatever. But plus they were idiots. So. Like you don't want a flat leather bag. It doesn't look like a leather bag. And then, so it took like a day of explaining to them that they were wrong. So I get my check and guess what? I fired that client. When they called me to shoot the next one, I was like, no, you're not worth my time. Sometimes you gotta do that. Okay, anything else? I shot the shoe, you like that? Oh, another question in the back? Is that a question in the back? Or you're just happy? Yours is not important. Of course it's important.
It's on like an ethical,
Uh-oh.
the ethical concern, say like the client asks you like, misrepresents an item. Let's say in the instance where an item is like glossy or one is like a clear matte, you're like is it like a thing to like step in?
That's a good question, right? So if something looks a certain way and they want it to look a different way, so what I would say is if you can do it with light, then I don't think that's necessarily unethical. I would advise them against it because they're going to get a whole lot of returns. But if you have to do it in post, then you're basically creating something, a system that doesn't exist, right? So when I was talking earlier about the cups and they wanted them to look like they were in a real space, I didn't add fake reflections. I went in and created all these gobos and stuff to basically make reflections all over things so that it looked real. And then it's like, yeah, that's real. It's there. So yeah, but as an artist, as a photographer, I would never do something I thought was not ethical. Like if I would just walk out because money's not that important, It's important. It's not that important. Any other questions? Yes. Oh, so lighting underneath like a shooting table. So they actually make Plexi tables. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but where basically you can put the products on them and it lights up from underneath. It can be really nice if you're doing a lot of product photography. You can control it. I never liked them that much because, which is going to sound funny, what I'm doing here is I don't always like having the reflection. And if you're shooting on Plexi, you're going to get the reflection. And if you put paper on the table, then you can't shoot light through it. So if you like the reflection and you always want the reflection, then those tables with the light underneath are great. Otherwise, a roll of paper is just as good for me. But that's a personal preference. Other questions, thoughts, concerns? Yes, in the back, the important question. Hold on, I didn't hear you. Oh, the turtle picture. Yeah, of course we shot the turtle. I would not put a turtle on the thing without, that's what you came for the turtle, right? All right, put the turtle back in. By the way, the turtle's name is Om. Om. Okay, this is different lighting now. Let's see how this lighting works with Om.
You want the bounce cards?
No, let's just start with the light. Seth changed my focus to something.
Point focus.
Oh, I see it. Okay, it's on his nose. Yeah, could you do it? So the thing about Om is he's got kind of a large nose. And I think it's beautiful, but it does grab focus. This Nikon does not have turtle focus. That's with nothing for some reason because I have everything turned off, but that's okay. I feel like that's all right to turn things off sometimes. I think the battery died.
Probably.
Oh, no, it was a full battery. I couldn't have died. Oh, yeah. Hold on, let me. Is it dead? We only need one shot, right? One shot, right? That's all we need. It's not going to work in one shot. You know that one did it. Let's just try it.
There you go. Yep.
Okay. Oh, he's dramatic.
So angry.
He's like, I'm angry.
ET phone home.
See, he's not happy. He's not happy. All the lights coming from the back. So, you know, we got to give him.
It looks like 1990s Ninja Turtle Jim Henson.
On.
Okay. All right. And since you weren't here at the beginning, this is Joe. All right. Yeah, there you go. Boom. All right. Turtle. Okay. A little different. We got the little dark going on. Actually, maybe, I know it's a pain in the butt. Could we put the dado back there and get that dramatic? All right. Just for you, sir.
Same slash.
We have a question.
In the chat, they're asking, rule of thumb, what products look best with hard versus soft light?
Okay, so I find that 90% of the time, a sweeping light from the back, relatively soft, is going to work for most products, because when you light something from the back, it brings out the detail. If you light it from the front, you might need to use a hard light more often because you want that detail. So basically, I wouldn't put a light in the front unless you really want to highlight something specific. Otherwise, you're going to get lots of reflections, which you might want if you're doing a pair of shoes that Mary bought. So, you know, go soft. It's better, usually, for product photography. Unless you're, there are some things like a diamond, right? Where you're going to want to hit it with the hard light, but you usually hit it with the soft light as an overall, and then you just pass the light through it.
The other thing you got to remember is your light's softer if it's bigger in relation to your subject, right? Well, if it's a tabletop item, a small softbox is actually a big light source to it, thus softer. So it's easier to work softer than harder. When you do work harder, like Joe does, he's got like 16 flags cutting through hard light all the time.
That's almost too good. That's almost too good, but I think you got it.
What is this?
Oh, he's good. This guy.
He's the best product photographer at Adorama, probably.
Uh-oh. I think I moved my camera. So now I have to look at this micro focusing.
You want to just manual focus?
No, he's got some kind of crazy focus.
Not some crazy focus. You turned off the touch.
He messes with my camera on purpose. You see him? He's over there messing with my camera.
Oh, wow.
And then he's like, oh, look.
So hard to use. There's a button. Oh, no.
Oh, look, I'm a hero.
You learned how to use your camera once in your career.
No, I don't need to. I have you here.
Sounds perfect.
All right, good. That's perfect. Now, this light in the background is not showing up much because of our exposure. So we can dial down. Can you kill these for a second, Seth?
Please.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna. All right, so we can see where it is. Close this down. Okay. So this is showing us our actual exposure. Seth set my camera up, so when I press the button, it does that. I have no idea how to do it, so don't ask me. He'll explain it to you.
You set up a custom function button to just disable your flash. When it does that, it goes into ambient light. You're using a mirrorless camera. It's showing you ambient light.
There you go.
Look at that. Daniel Norton, everybody.
Oh. What happened? Oh,
We're getting the blue from above.
yeah, that's the shape. We're picking up a lot of ambient that wasn't there in the test.
Try that.
Okay.
I think the blue's cool.
No.
We're getting this.
We killed that softbox. That's what it's doing.
We're getting the one above.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Joe's got it. Perfect. Okay, let's get these reflectors in. We'll do it quick so that the stream doesn't. I swear I'm still here, stream. Please do not. Oh, please do not leave because you're easily distracted. Oh. My TTL. Is that why it's doing that? Ah, I lost the focus again. All right, hold on. Oh, I know what happened. Excuse me while I fix something. My fault. Okay. I adjusted the aperture, not the shutter speed. Remember how before I said if you adjust the aperture, it screws things up? That's what happened. There we go. I have no idea. I got fat fingers.
There's no light on it. Can't see what it's doing.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I'm not going to touch anything now. All right. It's in focus because Seth has very delicate fingers.
Oh, okay. No.
That's it. I'm booking myself a product demo tomorrow. We're gonna really do a way
You
better
definitely
job.
come. I'm switching to manual focus, so I don't hit it again. I don't know what happened. There he is. And again, the mirror is dirty because it's black. We're not gonna spend a lot of time cleaning that up, but you know, you get the idea. We got the turtle. His nose is out of focus, but his eyes are in focus. That's always important.
To be
He's
fair,
waving to you.
Dan did try to clean that glass. I just want to make that clear. He just found the worst bodega napkins and Windex to
Yes.
do it with.
But anyways, we did in fact shoot the turtle. So there you go. That was the most important question of the day. Okay, good. Next. We're done. All right. I shot everything. I shot the ball. I shot the carrot. You missed the carrot, Sue. All right, guys. So what's going on at Adorama? We're gonna be back. Seth's here every Monday. Check it out on the stream. I'll be back in 2 weeks for which will be really fun. I'm gonna make portraits using a point and shoot camera. How we get that to get to these computers over here is gonna be half the fun. This is Joe. This is Ohm. This is Seth, Last X Witness. X is silent. I'm Daniel Norton. This is Adorama. You're you. We'll see you next time.
Hi, guys.
Ciao.